All right. So we're live. Give me a few minutes. I had trouble with the previous stream because YouTube is terrible. That's just a fact of life. Like they need to get their stuff together. So give me a minute. I got to pump up the jam a little bit here. All right, let's see if we're getting a little bit more input. All right, test test. That should be good. So, what do we have here? Uh hmm. Let me get myself situated a little bit. I'm gonna find the live chat so I can get that going as well. You got to give me a second. This is always fun. It's probably gonna feedback on me too. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. I'm working on my gain still. Hold on. Okay, so can you guys hear me now? Okay. I believe I should have high enough gain to where you can hear me, and I should be able to see the chat because I'm going to talk about this thing a little bit. All right. So this would be primarily for my subscribers because I am not going to be posting this around a ton. I'll share it in just a couple of quick places. Um, share it underneath of the post that I just did. If you saw on Facebook, um I posted some pictures and some stuff on fluxwithit.com. If you go to fluxwithit.com, you're going to get some info about this thing. So I would highly suggest you go do that. Um, I got to hit up a couple of strangers real quick. Uh, close this, close that. I got a million windows open because people keep asking questions. Um, so just give me a second. Bear with me. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Almost done. All right. So let me see about. I'm going to share this screen real quick so you guys can see it. Let's break this thing up. Where is it at? All right. Here we go. Location. There she goes. All right. So now you can see that obviously there's something interesting on the horizon here, and that would be the SP2400. Um, what is the SP2400? That seems to be the question on everybody's mind. Well, earlier in the week, we saw this little doodad. Here we are. We saw this board, and a lot of people started speculating wildly. Oh, it's Behringer's doing a clone. That's what it is. It's Behringer. Well, let's look at the board for a second. Let's break this down. First off, what Behringer clone have you seen that didn't have like a yellow board to it? They're known for their yellow PCBs. Uh, as you can see, this is not that. Another thing that you can't really see from this picture, there was another clearer photo, um, but the chip, this silk screen on here was saying things like SSM, which SSM is not a chip brand that Behringer would be using. Um, so that's another clue that it would not be Behringer, you know? If you didn't see any cool audio stuff, and if it, and even if it was SSM chips, you would think that it should say SSI, right? Because that's the new SSM chips. So what's the deal here? What is this thing? And how in the world did I get a hold of these pictures? Um, well, these pictures actually they came to me in a dream or something like that. No, I can't fully divulge how I know about these photos or where I found them, but I can say that this is real. Um, these are going to, in fact, happen. And something interesting about it, I would say it's probably important to note that if you look at the layout of this thing and if you look at some of the details on here, it's not a clone. Um, it clearly has a lot of things in common with an older sampler of a lower number status. Um, but what I'll say is that, look at the screen, look at the pad set. It doesn't look like it's trying to be a one-to-one clone. More so, looking a little bit more like it's a spiritual successor, something that is pushing forward that original design philosophy and kind of changing it and making it more modern. Now, if we go back to uh this board here, which I also saw people, some people were saying that they couldn't tell that it was a render. Yeah, it's definitely a render. This is definitely an early render of a PCB. You'll notice that you've got 8 outs on there. You've got, DIN MIDI. You've got USB. So there's some newer ports on here that you didn't see on the classic system. So it's definitely not a classic one to one, reissue. Like EMU did back in the day. They reissued the SP1200. So I wouldn't um I wouldn't freak out and scream about that. I will say that this if you look at these USB ports, they're host and client. Um, so that that opens up the door for some interesting possibilities as far as how this thing could be used. Um, certainly not uh certainly not something that you're seeing on a lot of pieces of gear right now, but it's something that I personally feel like we should be seeing a whole lot more of. I see Jim is in here, Jim Shannon. And he says, I thought it was a reissue of the SP1200. Well, if it was a reissue, um, then it would be called 2400, right? Or 1200, but it's not. It's 2400. And you know, again, it's not the same ports, not the same stuff going on here. So, um, I want to know in the chat, kind of what your thoughts are. Are you excited about this? Does this look like something that you're interested in? And I see Synth Anatomy is in here and he's saying we thought it would be an SP1200 times two. I guess meaning like maybe just double the memory, or just double everything, I guess. No, I can tell you right now it's definitely not that. Just, based on layout, based on ports on there. And I can also tell you that I've heard it. um, I'm a little tentative about that, because I don't want people to hound me too much on that yet. Of course, that information will be coming. But this thing is definitely real. I've definitely heard it. It is also definitely not Behringer, and I saw some people commenting about it being a Kai because of the pads. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you right now, it's not a Kai. It's definitely not a Kai. So yeah, which that would be weird, wouldn't it? Can you imagine if a Kai had done something like that? Like what would the community blowback be like on something like that, or would there be any? Yeah, I mean, can use USB drives, thumb drives, external keyboard, um, and I will say this, as far as how it's built, it's an aluminum structure, so it's not like, you know, it's gonna feel substantial. It's not gonna feel like a plastic little toy or anything. It's gonna feel like something musical that you can use. Um, this thing is, being built for those of us who really want to get down and funky with it. If you look at the pad layout, um, it's an improvement over what was previously there. What was previously there, you had, really, if you've ever used the 1200 or the 12, the little clicky buttons on them, uh, known to fail. And I just think that with a more modern sensor, it's like, why would you not want that? You can get more features out of having a modern sensor there. There's more things that you can do there. The screen, I'm interested to see how that's all gonna play out. You have a much more detailed screen than was previously available. So uh, gone are the days of having to do everything, by the numbers. Um, So I see a lot of people saying Rossum. Um, can neither confirm nor deny who it is at this point. But I can just say, like, it's definitely not Behringer, and it's definitely not. Those pads are nothing like they're nothing like Rhythm Wolf pads. I can assure you that. um, yeah. What else can we say about this? Let me see what other info I might have. What other tidbits exist out there? Oh, so it does operate both 24-bit and 12-bit, um, and multiple sample rates as well. So you can use it in a classic kind of mode, that classic lo-fi style, or you can use it in a more modern context and just kind of reap the benefits of that speedy workflow, which is dope. Um, Yeah, and if you sample cowbells into it, you can actually use it to have more cowbell. So there's that. I feel like that shouldn't be an understatement. People need to know about that. Um, as far as connectivity, no CV. Um, that's not I don't believe that's gonna be on there. Um, what else can we talk about? So the IO, there is individual outputs on there. I can tell you that much. What else do we have? Let me see. Um, just trying to pull up a little bit of info that I may have here. Um, where is this at? My little thread here keeps going crazy, so I'm trying to pull this information up. Um, I can tell you there is analog filters in this thing. So there's that. Okay, so here we go. Whoa, hold on, I'm just trying to copy some information down real quick. Oh, that did not work. Um, Super booth. I don't know. I kind of doubt that it'll be at Super booth. That's an interesting question. I can see if I can find out about that. I would like to find out what the timeline is going to be. Um, um, All right, yeah. I'm okay. So, I'm just trying to get some information real quick and see what all I can share. So it's got 11 outputs. Well, 11 jacks, I should say. Outs 1 through 8, mix out, a filtered in, bypass input filter and EQ from the classic, direct in, straight from the source into the DAC. Um, so that's dope. Yeah. And yeah, it will have filters on every channel. Um, so there's that. I will say this. I'm excited about it on a couple of different levels, and I've been reading the threads on Facebook primarily. And man, I made the mistake of going into certain Facebook groups that are way too large for their own good, and you just get some ridiculous people in there. I want to just say a couple of quick things. One, watch people's biases, because if you read those threads, go back and read some of the speculation threads that were going on yesterday and today. Go back and read those threads and see what a lot of people were claiming as fact and acting as though they knew it all. Um, Go back and read some of those threads. And then when you read those threads, I want you to remember in the future, when this product or other products come out, that there's people like that out there that proclaim they have facts and will trash gear, will say all sorts of garbage. Um, but really they don't know a damn thing. They really don't. And they will try to drag people through the muck about it, this, that, and the third, and they have no information. They're just on the internet spouting garbage. Um, Remember those people, because those are the people that, later on you're going to be like, oh, well, this guy is saying this guy's saying that. Remember whose opinions you probably shouldn't trust. And I'm not talking about websites, I'm talking about the actual people in those threads. Remember that stuff, because as products like this come out, you're going to want to keep an open mind, because cork sniffing isn't going to get you very far when you could be having a whole lot of fun and you could be enjoying what I consider right now is like the new golden age of music gear. It really is. I mean, we're living in a time where we have access to really cool digital synths, really cool analog synths, really cool hybrid synths, awesome samplers. About to have a really awesome sampler hit the deck. That's going to be cool for performance and everything else. Um, Modular. We've got MIDI 2.0 on the way. I mean, like, MPE. We're living in the golden age of music production gear right now. Don't let morons ruin that for you. That's all I'm really trying to say. Like, and don't treat any one company like they are, you know, God's gift to anything, because they all are silly. Every single one of them. So, anyway, I'll have more information on the SP2400 in coming days and weeks, and however long it takes before this thing lands in your hands. I will try to give you the lowdown on it, and the sooner I can get some cool stuff to show you, the sooner I'll get it out to you. But for now, I think these pictures say an awful lot. And Charles Ford is a moron. Oh man. Yeah, so I'll be signing off. Yeah. Go check out I just uploaded a new expansion pack on the Akai expansion exchange thing for the NPC X and NPC Live. You guys can go check that out. And if I see Jacob Waters in here asking if there would be a green Flux edition of it, I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. I really like how it looks now. So I don't know that I would want to spray paint this thing green because I kind of dig that class. I've always liked the classic gray face. Really the gray and black face ones are pretty dope. I like that look. But of course I'm also one of the people who like I like that OB look from when people were crying about DSI doing the OB lines. I love that stuff. Um and I am definitely not a DSI fanboy. So yeah. All right. Well, I'll sign off and keep your eyes peeled. Instagram and at Flux 302 on Instagram. You may see something. Who knows? Um, and I'll try and sneak you guys some information as best I can. It's not Behringer. It's not Behringer. That's so funny. People were so sure. So sure. How could they be wrong? It's impossible. It's the internet. Peace. Oh, and for my European friends, I'll do it this way.